And good afternoon. It is Wednesday, June 21st, just after 1 p.m. And an exciting event is back. They announced their 2023 outdoor summer schedule last year, and that is Newport Film. And joining us to chat about that today is Cathleen Carr, Executive Director of Newport Film. Kathleen, how are you?
Good. How are you, Ryan? I'm so glad to be with you and chatting with you and actually meeting you.
I know. I was just thinking that. You have, let's see here. I'm going to do a quick history. You joined the organization, correct me when I'm wrong. Not if I'm wrong, when I'm wrong. October 2021.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think you were going to be that good. That is correct.
So 2022, last year was your first season. Still kind of a COVID season, maybe coming off of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the audience proved that we were over it. So like we had everyone was so excited to be out last summer, myself included. So, but yes, there was still a little bit of the kind of that happening. And this year, I think it's like not on our minds anymore.
I know it's quite wild, even though I was just in Colombia for a wedding, and a lot of the people that we went down there with all caught COVID while we were down there. And I was like, it's still around, so we still got to take some precautions. But,
yeah, absolutely.
But everything seems to be well back in Newport and in Rhode Island. How are you getting accustomed to Newport and getting used to the island life there?
Oh, I love it. I love the Newport community. I was new to it upon arrival. And I have to say, because I'm so impressed by this island and this city. It is so interconnected. People are so invested in their community here, and just the amount of small businesses, the organizations, everyone works together. There's so much to do. It really is a very unique, because I've lived all over, and it really is a very unique community. And I just adore it. I couldn't imagine a better place to be working and putting on these types of events, because the community support is incredible. It's just, and like my thing when I joined was like, it was clear to me how much people loved Newport Film. And my one rule was don't break Newport Film.
Well, we have you. It's not broken yet. The season actually kicks off tomorrow night, Thursday, June 22nd. You announced last week, the organization did, the full schedule for the summer. Very exciting schedule. Talk to me about kind of the putting together this schedule. I know, having served on boards for Ford Adams Trust, that even reaching out and getting available dates at these venues is its job itself, never mind the movies and the films and documentaries. How long ago did this schedule start coming together?
Sure. Well, it starts as early as January, when Sundance happens. So Newport Film's co-founder, Andrea Van Buren, she's the artistic director, and I head out to Sundance. That happens in January every year. And this was the first back in person Sundance post-COVID. And that's really opening season for films. And so it's just seeing a lot of films. So that's the exciting first part of the process, because you're just watching films and being introduced to all of the different types of narratives that are out there. And there were so many compelling ones at Sundance this year. In fact, we're featuring 4 Sundance premieres in the lineup this year. It was just a really great roster. And then there's a series of festivals that occur throughout the winter and spring. There's South by Southwest, which is a big one. Tribeca is another big one. And then Andrea, she's incredible. She has just a network and knowledge of the documentary film industry. So she really does an incredible job of just staying on top of it, knowing what films are coming. I mean, she knows films that are happening, while they're still in production. And so she really has a really great eye for sourcing and identifying what would work well here in Newport. So the film selection part is, and it can be like, hard, because sometimes there's too many films. We don't have enough slots. And so you have to make difficult decisions. And the venue part starts in as early as February, just reaching out to some of our tried and true partners like the Preservation Society, who is such a wonderful organization to partner with. We just love working with their team on this. We're going to be at 3 PS properties this season, and reaching out to Fort Adams and Polo Grounds is always, Agnes there is so great to work with, and Safe Harbor. We were supposed to be there last summer out in Portsmouth, but it was a rain out. So we're going to be back there again this summer. So just, we check availability, timing. It's a little bit of like moving the pieces around the puzzle, and because it also depends on, can we get filmmakers coming in? And we do have a handful of filmmakers coming in. And so then you have to look at their travel schedule. And so it's, it's a little bit, you definitely have to be okay with the messiness of event planning. That's for sure.
I think I'm more impressed, and I always say this to Steve over at Charter Books and Kathy over at Jane Pickens,
yeah,
that I guess it's your job, so but you just have the time to consume all these films and try to pick the best ones that would work, because it's so tough. I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours to consume some of these things.
Yeah, and and sometimes quickly it could be a great film, but it may not be the best fit for an outdoor summertime event. Oftentimes in the summertime, music documentaries are excellent choices, and anything related to the outdoors is generally a great choice. Just things that have universal themes that people from all different walks of life can latch on to are really great in the summertime. But the good news is that in a lot of ways, when you're watching for the summer, you're able to keep tabs for later in the year for films that would work post summer season, when we're back indoors, or a virtual platform as well. So it's a great opportunity for us to still be able to have a list available for post summer as well. So, and then that whole other thing is like industry, like everything, industry is constantly changing. Fortunately, the writer's strike isn't impacting us here in the documentary space terribly right now, but there's always like, is this film going to be released? A lot of places go straight to streaming now. So we endeavor to present films in the summertime that you can't see yet. So you can't pop on Netflix and see it. This is your opportunity to see this film that hasn't been released yet. And that model worked really well with the festival model, at the founding in 2010, but things are shifting now. And a lot of people are just bypassing festivals, or they'll premiere at a festival, but then 3 weeks later, they're going to be on Amazon. And they already knew that, and it was a done deal. So we have to adapt all the time to, the different distribution schedules for the different films. So, there's a lot of moving parts all the time. And fortunately, I am a trained improviser. So it's something that I can kind of move along with and stay, afloat with, but it is dynamic. I'll say that.
Excellent. I wanted to joke and ask you the last film that you walked out on, but I won't hold you, I won't put your feet to the fire on that one.
No, I will never go on record.
So the season kicks off tomorrow at the Great Friends Meeting House.
Yeah.
And we can do this 2 ways, whatever's easier way for you. You will have writers, directors, people who appear in the films at many of the events. So what I could do is we can bring up here, and what I want to do is tell people, we're going to talk about a lot here, but newportfilm.com is where you can find the full schedule right under here, events and summer schedule. You can find it right there. In some cases you might, we'll talk about it. In some cases you might have to RSVP. You can find more information. You can see previews, all of that good stuff. So I guess let's just start off with tomorrow, Patrick and the Whale.
The Whale, yeah, absolutely. Patrick and the Whale it's been accepted into many festivals. It's a favorite. It's a concise, beautiful documentary about a underwater cinematographer and photographer named Patrick Dykstra, who has been diving with whales for many, many, many years, and as a result has been able to capture some first noticed footage, like behavioral patterns of whales that we haven't had footage of before. And so this film does feature a pretty amazing moment, I have to say. So this is a lovely film. It's really beautiful. it's family friendly too. Like if folks are, I know that's always a consideration. It's 110 minutes. It's just a lovely, gorgeous film. And so if you're somebody who's really drawn to, underwater footage and compelling stories, and it has a strong narrative. It has a really strong narrative. So this one's great. We don't have the filmmaker present for this one. So this will be a no filmmaker one. But we encourage everyone to check it out. And I want to talk about the RSVP thing really quickly, because you mentioned it.
As well as the suggested donation. Well, if you could wrap it all in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have an FAQ on every film page as well that lays this out. So if you've never been to a Newport Film event, I have the advantage of being someone who is new to the community. And sometimes I think it's important to know that, like, not everybody, has lived here for 30 years and knows what Newport Film is. So I was able to lend that consideration to it. So we do have an opportunity to RSVP, and we're very upfront about this. You don't have to RSVP. You can arrive at our events. The reason why we ask for it is it helps us plan more effectively. So generally there's a bit of a ratio of, like, the number of RSVPs will be representative of what we believe that audience size will grow into. So it's really just, you helping us out if you do it. And you can remind yourself about it. You'll get that response email. We do have a suggested $10 donation per person. And if you've been to our events, you also know it's free and easy. Like there's no, it's not like going to a museum where it's really like, no, really, it's a suggested donate. You come in, there's no main entrance. So we know we have people who may pop in a larger donation at some point in the summertime because they've been coming to a lot of events, and that's their contribution. We have some people who fastidiously donate every single screening, whatever works for you. But the most important thing with Newport Film is that we really want these to be open and inclusive events for anyone, wherever whatever they're capable of. So it is truly suggested. We do appreciate it because, as you can imagine, it's quite an endeavor to pull these off. So there is a lot of moving parts, and it can be quite costly. So, we do rely on the donations, and also know that everyone is welcome.
Excellent. For those who may also be new, seeing we were hitting on some of the new things here, is there was always this timeline, and all of the events, or most of the events, normally include some live music to kick things off.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brendan Keogh, our director of operations and events, is incredible, and he is also a musician, and he books music. And so we just have every summer just a wonderful roster of local talent who perform just prior to the film. So that's definitely a crowd favorite. People do arrive early to enjoy the music. So definitely, and they're great. Like, these are like world-class musicians. So well worth your time to get there early for it.
Excellent. I see a couple local guys with Bill and Randy kicking things off tomorrow night.
Great guys. We're glad to have them.
And then it's Patrick and the Whale will kick off the season tomorrow night, June 22nd, 8:30, over at Great Friends Meeting House. I will mention that keep in mind that today is the first day of summer. Today is the longest day. Everything gets shorter from here, so you'll see, or keep in the back of your mind each Thursday, that the films will likely get a little bit earlier as the summer progresses here. So
we do screen at sunset. So you'll notice that by the August 31st, the screening time is much earlier than it is right now. And I do want to note, I think it's important to note that every venue does have a rain backup. So we do proceed with the screening despite the rain. So tomorrow screening, the rain backup is the Casino Theater. I'm only noting that just because, checked the weather today, and so that is, but you are still welcome to come. We just move indoors.
Do the people who RSVP, or do the people that get to the rain venue first get in first?
First come, first serve. First come, first serve. Yeah.
All right. I can imagine the other one would be a nightmare to handle.
A little bit.
But as I mentioned, it is a full summer schedule, and we don't have to go into great detail on each film. but kind of walk us through the schedule here.
Sure. So we can keep this up. I mean, so on the 29th, It's Only Life After All. That's another Sundance premiere. That's the Indigo Girls. It's a really great film. Newport Pride is our community partner on this film, and that's going to be at Marble House. It's a really great music doc if you're an Indigo Girls fan, or you grew up in the 90s. You'll love it. After the Bite, this one, I think I actually, this is really great. It's about the exploding great white population on Cape Cod. And it's an HBO documentary. And this one is, I mean, let's be honest, it's a local interest for us as well, because that population is growing. So that one's great. Forte is really exciting. So that's in partnership with Newport Classical. So we're really excited to be partnering with them. And that is an exceptional documentary about 3 professional female musicians. So that is going to be at Aquidneck Park, right in downtown there by the library. Food and Country, Ruth Reichel of the New York Times and Gourmet Magazine. This is a compelling food documentary that she pulled together, and it's about how we make our food, how are we distributing our food, and how can we do it better. And she features like a lot of interviews with farmers and ranchers, and the sustainable fisheries folks that are working in that space. And Ruth Reichel will be in town for that, which is really exciting. Ron Delsner presents. This film's great. It's in partnership with Newport Folk Festival. And Ron Delsner, if you know his name, that means that you were in New York City at some point, 1960s beyond. And he started concert promoting. I mean, he was the one who really figured out how to connect emerging talent with big audiences. And so he launched all of the Central Park Music Summer Series that were going on. He discovered a lot of folks. He was behind the Simon and Garfunkel reunion. And he's just a classic New Yorker. And this one's great. It's directed by Jake Sumner, and he's going to be in town for this as well. So we're really excited about this event. And it has great music and great interviews with everyone you love, all the great musicians that you love. And then moving into immediate family, that is another music documentary. And these are the session musicians that supported James Taylor and Carole King and so many iconic musicians from the 70s and the 80s as well. And so it's a really lovely feature about this core group of musicians that really are behind some of the most popular music that we all love. Cowboy Poets is a beautiful Western documentary. So it turns out that there's a network of cowboy poets in our country, and they gather annually at a cowboy poetry like showcase. And it's a documentary that follows this process and specific cowboys and cowgirls. And it's beautiful. I mean, like, it's sweeping Western landscapes. And this one's going to be at Polo Grounds. It's also going to be our annual picnic competition, which I know some people really love, and we love how much they love it, because I'm floored with what people pull together for that. So that one is just going to be lovely, a lovely experience. So here's the big local one. This one's huge, the Sid Abruzzi Water Brothers. So that's going to be at Fort Adams, and this one's going to be big. And Sid's going to be there. The Canaan brothers, who are local filmmakers who are very successful outside of Rhode Island, are behind this film. And this is obviously huge for Newport. This is the premiere of this film. It's going to be just wonderful. So this is definitely like as Newport as we can get. So that one we're really excited about. Invisible Beauty. This was another Sundance one. This one is it's about Beth Ann Hartson, and she is one of the first most famous Black runway models and activists and entrepreneurs. And she is so compelling on screen. She's so funny. She's so full of life. And this is a documentary about her and her legacy and her work. And she's still going strong. And I just love this film. I think it's so uplifting and funny and just wonderful. And it has like all of the most famous supermodels in it. It's just a great film. So that one is, we're really looking forward to this one. And the filmmakers will be in town for this as well. And then we're closing with Going Varsity and Mariachi, which is another Sundance. And this is going to be at My Antonomy Park, this is our first time being at My Antonomy Park.
Nice.
We're so excited to be there. We're going to close out the season there. And this is a lovely documentary about in Texas, they have varsity mariachi bands in the high schools, and they have a statewide competition. So it's following two schools as they're preparing and getting ready for the competition. So it's just a really lovely and very family friendly, great film to close out the season with. So that's our season in a snapshot. I know I could talk more, but I think
that's
the way to experience it is just to attend.
That's busy 11 weeks.
11 weeks. Yeah.
You mentioned Miantonomi Park. Any new venues this
the Great Friends Meeting House is actually new to us as well. So those are the two new venues that we're going to be at. We're going to be at Fort Adams twice. However, we're going to be in different locations. For Water Brother, we're going to be in the North Lawn where the main stage is. And then for Food and Country, we're going to be kind of back where you park for folk and jazz in that area there. So that'll be our first time screening in that area of Fort Adams. But every other place, we're just so happy. I mean, to be partnering with again and be back at. So everyone's just so gracious. I'm just so in awe and amazed at how wonderful all the partners are in helping us bring this to life.
And, it's always good to remind people of the general rules, bring your own chair, bring your own blanket,
yes.
Bring all of that good stuff. All of the venues, that might be a wide statement, there will be things available to purchase.
Yes. So we're going to have food vendors at every single event. And thank you for bringing that up again, if you've never been before. So there's no chairs. So we screen on lawns, essentially green spaces, parks. So you don't want to be like, oh. So definitely bring at the bare minimum a beach blanket. A lot of people bring in beach chairs, lawn chairs, whatever you need to feel comfortable. And we have, and you're free to bring your own picnic. We ask that you please carry in, carry out whatever you bring. And we have food vendors at every single event. So no worries if you don't have time to pack a picnic. You know that you can show up and there's going to be great food for you at the event. We have free popcorn. It's always free, and we pop it up till the start of the movie. And here's the big exciting news. We got a new generator just for the popcorn machine.
Wow.
So what that means is that
we write that down.
Yeah, well, no, last summer they're like, because the power supply. Obviously, what we do is, when you think about it, just bananas, right? We're like moving a giant movie theater to different outdoor spaces. And so there's so many external variables that you have to react and adapt to. And some venues we didn't have the most reliable electrical source. And so sometimes the popcorn machine would kind of slow down a little bit. Wow. So we have a dedicated generator. So the popcorn machine is going to be popping popcorn at a great speed. We're going to be able to keep that supply going. So if you were one of those people who was standing in line last summer being like, where's my popcorn? Like, don't worry, we've got your back this year.
And speaking of popcorn, as somebody who runs a business that runs on the support of readers as well as fellow business owners, there are some local businesses that make this entire series possible.
Oh yeah, so many.
Make the popcorn. I'm thinking about the popcorn.
Yeah.
And who pay for that popcorn and who make it possible. And if you visit Newport Film, you can see some of them. But why don't you tell us about some of the people that do make this entire outdoors?
Yeah. So we have our. I'm going to follow your. But we do have our dedicated year-round sponsors, which is Kirby Construction, Park South Hotel NYC, and WIMCO, which excitingly, so for those of you who are longtime Newport Film folks, we do the annual WIMCO sweepstakes to win a 7-day trip to St. Bart's. So we're actually going to run this in the summertime. So starting tomorrow, that's going to launch, and for 11 weeks. So there'll be it'll run for 7 weeks, and then the winner will be announced on September 1st. So just a heads up on that, because we have in the past run it in the fall, but we're just gonna keep that a summertime situation. I just to stay tracking with what you're visually showing, I will graciously and gratefully call out our grant supporters. So 11th Hour Racing, we're just huge supporters. We love them. They're so wonderful to partner with, and so we're really grateful for their support. The D. Rummel Foundation, the Grubin Charitable Foundation, Rhode Island Council for the Humanities, and the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts are all incredible funders of ours. So we're grateful for that institutional support. As you know, it takes a lot of different folks to bring this together. Our presenting sponsor for Newport Outdoors is Lila Delman Compass, longtime presenting outdoor sponsor, and we're just really grateful for them. There's Lila's Lounge. So if you've been coming, you know there's always Lila's Lounge. They're happy to welcome you. Come and visit the lounge when you join the event this year. They'd love to say hello. Our official hotel sponsor is Hammett's Hotel, and they're great. So when we do have filmmakers come in, we always have a beautiful, beautiful accommodations for our filmmakers, which is great because I have to say we have a lot of filmmakers who they love Newport. It's their first time. And they're like, Newport is incredible. And we're like, yes, we know. Please come back. We are very grateful. So our audience award and our live music sponsor is Bank Newport. And they're just, they're fantastic. Bank Newport's just fantastic. So we're thrilled that they're supporting us in that capacity. Solution sponsor. So we have A1 Roofing and Construction. So one of the things we've had to problem solve all the years is like waste and garbage, and so they're incredible. They're going to be supporting us is like so important, is making sure that we get our waste and our recycling collected and removed in an efficient and way that is best practice. So we are so grateful for them. Our event supporting, we've got Newport Hospital, obviously just a huge anchor in the community. DACWA, who we love, what a great company. Dip Hair Care. This is a really this is a sustainable hair care company, and so there's going to be some giveaways around that as well. We also have Design Outside Landscape Studio. They're new, joining us this year, and we're so grateful. We welcome them. Maz, who's over in the shopping center by A Market. We're just we're thrilled that they're joining us this year. Latitude Yacht Brokerage, Ryan there. He's a great friend of Newport Film, so we're thrilled that he and his team are back with us again. Bowen's Wharf. I mean, come on, we love Bowen's Wharf. Thank you to them. So we have Serve, our great friends at Serve. So they're critical. They help us with a lot of the human power that we need to make these events go. Black Earth Compost is our partner in our zero waste stations, along with, and they're not listed here, but Clean Ocean Access. So we have a little community that makes it so that we can bring all of we will have composting, full composting, recycling, and landfill, and we have volunteers that are going to help you sort it all out. So don't worry, you don't have to have a PhD in composting. We'll get you there. And then we're going to be taking metrics so that we can kind of celebrate what we're doing together and how much we're diverting from landfill. So we're really excited about being a leader in public arts and culture programming around this. We think it's really important that we start embracing these practices and that we can be a platform to do that. So we're really thrilled about that. We have Sunflow. I'm just going to freestyle here because there's
absolutely.
Now realizing some things might need to be updated.
It's okay. There's it just proves that how much of the community has to come together. We have there's a great company, Sunflow. They were on Shark Tank. They're beach chairs. They're lovely beach chairs. And so when you come, and if you do give a suggested donation, you'll get a raffle ticket. And at every event, we pull a raffle item. And so at every event, we're going to be giving away 2 Sunflow beach chairs, and it's a $400 value. So these are like beautiful beach chairs. So we're really excited about them. We have all of our great media sponsor or supporters that we have. So we have you. Thank you. You are welcome.
What's up, Noop? Edible Roadie, Minuteman Press. Helen there does so much printing for us, and we're so grateful. We're always like, Helen, can you print this? Newport Daily News, Newport Life, Newport Out, the Road Show, and Publix Radio. So, just helping us get the word out and making sure not even just Aquidneck Island, but all of our friends across Rhode Island know about this, because what a great opportunity for all of Rhode Island to come and enjoy Aquidneck Island on a Thursday night. We're just really proud of what we do, and we want to be able to share it with everyone. So I think I got it.
You hit on everybody.
I did.
Yeah, besides the venues, which we had talked about, a lot of those are your community partners.
Yes.
Where events will be taking place, such as Preservation Society, Fort Adams, Safe Harbor, Town of Portsmouth for the Polo Fields, Historical Society for Great Friends Meeting House, and so on. So I know it's not always the most exciting things for people to tune into or listen to, but I think it's very important that none of I'm speaking from the outside, but I think I know how organizations overall work.
Yeah.
This series and this event and Newport Film and the events you go enjoy for the next 11 weeks throughout Newport County would not be possible without all these organizations. So they all deserve a second of our time and gratitude.
Yeah, no, we are. I mean, I am so grateful. And again, that's another thing, circling back, when coming to Newport and being so impressed by in this community is how so powerful and strong the local business community is, and how generous the local business community is. And I think that's so critical to building like a place that people just want to live and work and raise their families and enjoy themselves. I mean, it's such a huge building block of a community. So I absolutely, we wouldn't be able to do this without our sponsors. I mean, it's just hands down. I mean, the sponsors are so critical, and I'm always just so grateful, so grateful.
So the next 11 Thursdays, it all kicks off tomorrow night with Patrick and the Whale at the Great Friends Meeting House right there in downtown Newport, I guess you could say. And then we're going to go 11 weeks where there's going to be no rain on every Thursday.
No rain. There's no rain.
On Thursdays.
We need rain. We need rain, but not on Thursday.
Yes. And Terrence writes in, very excited for Thursday. And
Terrence.
So thank you, Terrence, for writing in. So Kathleen,
and I want to say with parking too, just a heads up, as you all know, some venues have parking and some don't. And tomorrow's one of those venues where it's street parking only. So we know it's a frustration, and again, it is what it is, right? So, but the way we try and get ahead of it is make sure we communicate. So we put on the film pages what the parking situation is. So, so always plan accordingly if you can.
Excellent. Is there anything else we missed? I mean, we could talk about each film for just as long as they are, but
I know.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think, this is a big, as you know, this is a huge undertaking. And I just want to take a moment to call out the team of Newport Film. I mean, it's Brendan, Steve, and Jess, and Andrea, and everyone works so hard. And we all show up, and we are so committed to making a welcoming and inviting space for everyone. And so we're met with such a kind audience as well. So just so you all know, we are so grateful for this audience, because like, as you can imagine, the amount of work that goes into it is tremendous. And we also have a wonderful roster of interns this summer who are going to be supporting us as well. We've been running a program called Documentary Unbound at the Florence Gray Center in partnership with the Met School and Fab Newport and Creative Communities Collaborative. And we're just really happy to say that 4 Met School students are also going to be interning with us as well. These are paid internships. So who have participated in learning how to make documentaries and making their own documentaries during the school year. And now they're able to apply some of that technical know-how into the production end of our outdoor screening. So it's just really lovely. So we're just seeing these opportunities blend in and just building more of an opportunity for this experience to reach more people and have a bigger impact. So I just wanted to call out the team, because it is a wonderful team. And the volunteers. Oh my goodness.
Volunteers.
Oh my goodness. If you've come to our events, the volunteers are like, they've been volunteering for years. I mean, these people are incredible. So please please, like, thank a volunteer when you see them. I can't thank them enough. Every time I see them, I'm just like, thank you so much.
Yes, and if you go to newportfilm.com, you can become a member, you can become a sponsor, you can volunteer, or you can donate. 5 ways to get involved. The 5th way is go to the event.
Show up.
Yes. So
just show up.
All righty. Well, Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us, and wish you the very best this season, and look forward to seeing you in person at one of these upcoming events.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me, and thank you all. We look forward to seeing you some Thursday this summer.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Cathleen Carr. She's the executive director of Newport Film. newportfilm.com. You can get all the information on tomorrow night's event on June 22nd, Patrick and the Whale at the Great Friends Meeting House, or you can go and see the entire schedule of all that is coming up this season. Thanks for watching.